Hello and welcome to the Getting Things screencast. This is episode 8. It's tips and tricks for using things. We're going to dig into a lot of the little tiny features that I think make things one of the better task management systems on Mac. We're also going to dive just a little bit into AppleScript and setting up just some things that I've heard lots of users ask for. First off, I want to show you that you can actually create a new things library and actually have multiple libraries whenever you launch things. First I'm going to quit things. I'm going to show you that I can hold down the Option key, just like with iTunes, and whenever I launch things, I get this either choose library or create library. I can actually create a new library. I have this desktop, I'm going to call it things. It creates a new library, and now I have a completely blank library. This is actually very useful if you wanted to do something like sync with Dropbox. Now you have to remember, if you do sync with Dropbox, that you cannot have more than one instance of things accessing that database.xml at the same time. So it's very important that you shut down and quit things on one computer before you open it up on another computer. Otherwise your database will get very jumbled. If things does get mixed up, you can easily restore a backup. First quit things, then open up Finder, go to your desktop, or go to the place where things is. If you haven't moved it, it's in your home directory, library, application support, cultured code. You'll see the things directory in there. Now the one I just created is here. It's already created a backup. If I wanted to restore this, all I'd need to do is rename this database.xml to something else, and then copy this to that same directory and rename it to database.xml. Now, when I launch things, it'll launch with the restored backup. A lot of people complain that there is not a good way to manage the waiting for tasks that are typical in GTD. I actually think that there is a pretty decent workaround, and that's actually creating a new teammate named Waiting For. I actually created a contact in my address book called Waiting For, and I add a new teammate there. Now, whenever I want to create a new task, which you can do by typing the spacebar in any focus, you can actually drag it to Waiting For. It automatically has this Waiting For item here. You can, because of the way that the newest version of things works with delegates, you can actually drag this to scheduled now and have it say I want to review it, I want this to come back up in a few days. So I want to check on things, but you can also look here for the waiting for items, like whatever items you're waiting for, and you can see when you're going to be reviewing them. So let's say that you have an actual teammate. Let's add Nasser. Let's actually add a few tasks. Now, what we can do is we can actually select these tasks and drag them to a mail, and it'll actually create a new mail with the tasks in them. Now, if you add notes, and by the way, when you are in a note, you can hit Control Enter, and it'll save the note. Now if you drag to mail, it actually shows the notes next to it as well. Now, let's say we actually check these items off and we log them. If you look in the logbook, you'll see these items, but you'll see that you can't uncheck them. Some people find this very annoying, and what they'd like to be able to do is They want to be able to access them because they accidentally logged it. What you can do is drag it back to next, and then you can uncheck it. It's not always the ideal solution, but it does get around the ability or the inability to uncheck an item. Let's create a new project really quick. I'm going to add several items using the spacebar again. Now you'll notice in Next that I only have one of these items here. I can expand and show all of them, or I can contract. Now, I can affect the number by going to View and the Next Action Steps. So I can actually make it to where I see 4 of every project. Many people prefer to have 1 so that they always see just the next task that needs to be there. When you have tags on items, you may find that you want to multi-select. You want to find all the tags that are work-related, but that also have a high priority. How do I do that? First you can select the tag that you want, then hold down Command and select the other tags. You can continue to select more if you'd like, but it's going to be an AND operator. So high and medium would have to be there for that. It doesn't do an OR. Just click the all to clear the map. Many of you have mentioned that you want to be able to be notified when certain items come to a certain time of day. So you want a ground notification or something along those lines. What I want to show you is how to set up one of the user-contributed scripts that allow that. First, let's open up Safari. Let's go to the user-contributed scripts page. When you go here, you'll see that there's actually several scripts that are already available. There's lots of integration scripts, and there's even this Growl Alert scripts, which I contributed. I'd like to show you how to set it up because there's been lots of users that want it. Basically, first we're going to save this link here. And we're going to place it in an appropriate folder. Right now I'm just going to put it on my desktop. But we also need to edit our cron job. What you can do is go to terminal and type sudo nano etc /cron tab. You'll need to enter your password. What you'll see here is this is just an editor that you can use, and it has tab delimited. It's a tab delimited file that has various commands that they want run at a specific time. This is basically a very, very simple script that goes through all of the items that are in today and shows Growl notifications if you have Growl installed at the specified time. So this one would actually show at 9:30 any of the Growl tags, or any of the items that had the tag morning. This one would show at noon any of the tags that had the tag noon, afternoon, evening, and night. So you can see that this is the hours and this is the minutes. So that's actually you're setting it up. You have to do the 24-hour clock, but that's how you work it. Once you save this, you can restart your computer. You can see that this right here allows you to save. You just hit Control-O. It'll tell you what the file name it is. You hit enter. and then you hit Control X to quit. Now, what you'll see is when items in Today that have morning as a tag come along and 8 o'clock hits, you'll actually see a growl notification here. Things does have to be running for this to work, but if you're like me, you leave things up all the time. In conclusion, Things is a very powerful program. I hope that you've enjoyed getting to know some of the smaller, littler, and I think amazing features of Things and how well thought out the whole program is. Be looking forward to more AppleScript and some more diving into advanced features of Things in future episodes. Thanks for being patient with me. I just had my third baby on Cinco de Mayo, and we've been going without sleep, so I appreciate you being patient for this next podcast. Hope you enjoyed the podcast, and we'll talk to you soon.